Hello, and welcome to a powerful moment, a lesson that could truly transform the course of your life. I don't say that lightly. This isn't just another motivational speech. This is a collection of principles that changed everything for me, my mindset, my direction, my future. These are not abstract theories or fluffy ideas. These are battle-tested truths. And once you truly understand and apply them, you will never look at your life the same way again. Because the truth is, most people go through life stuck in struggle, disappointment, and quiet regret. Not because they are not capable, but because they have never been told the truth. Today, I'm giving you that truth. If you embrace these principles, your life will shift. You'll rise above your circumstances, above the negativity around you, and even above your own self-doubt. You will become powerful, not just in what you do, but in who you are. Someone who inspires others. Someone who creates real change. Someone who achieves what once felt impossible. So stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear might just be the most important thing you've ever heard. Let's begin. Principle 1, stop comparing. Start becoming. Let me ask you something. How many times have you looked at someone else's success and felt like you were losing in life? Maybe you saw them making more money, driving a better car, living in a bigger house, or getting praised while you feel invisible. Maybe you looked at someone's perfectly sculpted body and thought, I'll never get there. You're not alone. That's exactly what 95% of people do. They compare, constantly, silently, obsessively. And that's where they start losing. Not when they fail, but when they start believing that someone else's timeline is more valuable than their own. Because comparison is not inspiration, it's poison. It weakens you before you've even taken your first real step. It erodes your confidence, your belief, and your focus. But here's what I need you to understand. If someone is ahead of you today, it doesn't mean they'll always be ahead. Maybe they started earlier. Maybe they got a break you didn't. But your journey is yours, and your time will come if you stop looking sideways and start looking forward. So instead of watching other people's lives, start watching your own progress. Ask yourself, am I better than I was yesterday? Am I learning? Am I moving? Because that's the only race that matters. Life is not a 100-meter sprint against others. It's a marathon against your own past self. And when someone mocks you, when they brag about their money or their possessions, let them talk. Stay silent. Stay grounded. Keep working. Because one day, if you stay focused, you won't have to talk. Your results will speak louder than their words. One day, after years of silent effort, when you roll up in your own success story, in your own Rolls-Royce moment, they won't know what hit them, and you'll smile. Not with arrogance, but with pride, because you didn't waste energy fighting them. You used that energy to conquer yourself. That's the real win. The best revenge is not shouting back. It's showing up when no one expected you to. So promise yourself today, I will no longer compare. I will only compete with the person I was yesterday. Principle 2, nothing is truly impossible. Why do most people give up before they even begin? It's because they've been sold a lie. The lie that certain things are simply out of reach. That success is reserved for others. That greatness is impossible. But I want to shatter that lie for you right now. Because the truth is, there is no such thing as impossible. Impossible is a shadow. It only looks real until someone steps through it. Let me give you an example. For centuries, People believed that it was physically impossible for a human to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Doctors, scientists, and even elite athletes all said the same thing. It just can't be done. But then, in 1954, a man named Roger Bannister stopped listening. He refused to accept that limit. He trained his body, but more importantly, he trained his mind. And one day, he did the unthinkable. He ran a mile in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. And something incredible happened. Within months, other runners did it too. Why? Because now they believed it could be done. That's the power of possibility. One person's courage to defy the odds opens the floodgates for millions. So ask yourself, do you want to be the one who proves them wrong? Or do you want to be the one who stays silent, watching history from the sidelines? When someone tells you, you can't do this, that's impossible, you have 2 choices: believe them and stay small, or ignore them and rewrite the script. Which one will you choose? Think about the Wright brothers. The world laughed at the idea of flight until they flew. Think about the idea of talking to someone on the other side of the planet. It was science fiction until the telephone. The idea of landing on the moon? Crazy until it happened. Every single limit you see around you was broken by someone who refused to accept it. The real prison is not your situation, it's your mind. And from this moment on, I want you to break out of it. When someone says, that's impossible, you say, not for me, because maybe you're the one who's going to show the world it can be done. Principle 3, the perfect time is now. You know what keeps more dreams buried than anything else? Waiting. People wait for the right moment, the perfect timing, the ideal conditions. And do you know what they end up with? Nothing. Years go by, life passes, and they're still waiting. But here's the truth. There's no perfect time. There is only now. If your dream matters to you, today is the day, not tomorrow, not next year, not when things settle down. Now, because you don't get time back, every second you waste is a second you never recover. And the sad reality is, most people won't wake up until it's too late. Your body can wake you up at 3 a.m. if you're sick, but your dreams, those often get buried in comfort and delay. How many people do you know who are older now, looking back with regret? Saying things like, I wish I had started earlier, or I should have tried harder. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to carry the regret of never giving your parents a better life, or never showing your kids what's possible. So treat your dreams like an emergency. Don't walk toward them. Run. There's no room for excuses anymore. Don't say, I'm not ready. Say, I'll figure it out. Don't say, I'll do it when I'm motivated. Say, I'll do it because it must be done. Your capability means nothing if you don't use it. You have greatness inside you, but greatness unused is greatness wasted. Promise yourself this today. I will no longer wait for the right time. I will act now, because the right time is not someday. The right time is right now. Principle 4, keep moving, no matter what. If someone asked me to explain the secret of success in just 2 words, do you know what I'd say? Don't stop. That's it. That's the formula. That's the mindset. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who fade away. Life will throw everything at you. Distractions, setbacks, failures, betrayals, heartbreak, pain. But no matter what happens, the key is to keep going. Are you tired? Rest for a moment, but then get back up. Are you discouraged? Take a breath, but then take the next step. Are you frustrated? Scream if you have to, but don't stop, because the moment you stop, the dream starts dying. Most people give up way too early. They begin with excitement, full of hope, full of energy. But when results don't come quickly, when the road gets bumpy, when success isn't instant, they quit. And that's the moment they lose everything they had built. Let me tell you something real. You might be just one step away from everything you've ever wanted, but you'll never know if you give up now. Think about a miner digging for gold. He keeps digging day after day, sweating, hurting, bleeding, and still, no gold. He's tired. His spirit is low. And then one day, he throws down his tools and walks away. But what he doesn't realize is this. If he had dug just one more meter, just one more swing of the pick, he would have struck gold. That's how close most people are when they quit. One step away. Time will pass anyway. Whether you quit or keep going, the clock keeps ticking. But the difference is, if you quit, 5 years from now, you'll be in the same place with the same regrets. If you keep going, 5 years from now, you'll be unrecognizable in the best way possible. The people who laughed at you, they'll clap. The ones who doubted you, they'll ask for advice. All you need to do is keep moving. Never settle. Never think small. Dream big. Work hard. And no matter how tough it gets, don't stop. Principle 5, take the risk or stay the same. Whether you realize it or not, every day you're already taking risks. Crossing the street, driving your car, trusting someone with your heart, even eating food. It all carries risk. So here's my question. If you're already taking risks every day just to survive, why not take a risk to thrive? Why not take a chance on your dream? The truth is, the biggest risk you can take in life is not taking any risks at all. Because that guarantees you'll never grow. You'll never discover what you're capable of. You'll stay stuck in the same job you hate, the same city that drains you, the same routine that bores you, year after year. And eventually, you'll wake up and wonder where your life went. Here's what I know. Successful people aren't fearless. They just fear regret more than failure. Look at Steve Jobs. He risked everything to build Apple in a garage. Elon Musk put every dollar he had into Tesla and SpaceX and almost lost it all. J.K. Rowling was rejected again and again before Harry Potter finally found a publisher. These people didn't win because they were lucky. They won because they were brave enough to bet on themselves when no one else did. Taking a risk doesn't mean being reckless. It means having the courage to move forward even when the outcome is uncertain. It means believing in yourself, even when nobody else does. So ask yourself, what's stopping you? Is it fear, doubt, other people's opinions? Because let me tell you, those same people who mock your ambition today will be speechless tomorrow when you make it. But that won't happen unless you take the leap. Step out of your comfort zone. That's where life begins. If you fail, you learn. If you succeed, you win. But if you never try, you'll always wonder what could have been. So take the risk and don't look back. Principle 6, pain is not your enemy, it's your fuel. There's a truth no one likes to talk about, but it's one you need to hear. Pain is a part of the process. No one escapes it. No matter who you are, what you do, or how much talent you've got, at some point, you're going to suffer. You're going to hurt. You're going to feel like the world is against you. But hear this clearly. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the teacher. Pain is the mirror that shows you what needs to change. Pain is the resistance that makes you stronger. And if you can stop avoiding it, if you can learn how to embrace it, pain becomes fuel. Think about it. Every muscle in your body only grows through resistance. Without stress, there is no growth. So when life presses down on you, when things fall apart, that's not the end. That's the start of your evolution. But most people don't see it that way. They run from pain. They numb it, escape it, deny it. And in doing so, they rob themselves of the very thing that could transform them. Don't make that mistake. When you're going through something hard, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because there's always a lesson buried inside the struggle. Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's self-belief. Maybe it's the ability to let go. But if you find the lesson, you'll find your strength. Some of the strongest people you admire today were built in seasons of suffering. They didn't get strong because life was easy. They got strong because they didn't quit when it was hard. So when life hurts, don't curse it. Use it. Channel that energy. Get stronger. Work harder. Go further. And remember, pain is not permanent. It passes. But the person you become because of it, that's forever. Principle 7. Discipline beats motivation. Every time people love to talk about motivation. Videos, quotes, hype music, it all feels good. But let me tell you something real. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when it wants to. It disappears when things get tough. You can't rely on it. If you want real results, if you want a life that changes, you need something stronger. You need discipline. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is consistent. When you're tired, when you're unmotivated, when everything in you wants to quit, discipline says, get up and do it anyway. Discipline is waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's going to the gym when your body says no. It's sticking to the plan when distractions are screaming your name. And it's not glamorous. It's not sexy. It's not loud. Discipline happens in silence, in the unseen moments, when no one is watching and there's no applause. But that's exactly why it works. Because it builds a version of you that can't be shaken. A version of you that doesn't depend on how you feel that day. A version of you that shows up, no matter what. And here's the beautiful twist. Once discipline becomes a habit, the motivation starts to come more often. You start to feel better because you're doing better. The more disciplined you are, the more in control you become. And that's where true power lives, in consistency. So stop chasing motivation. Start building discipline. It will change everything. Principle 8. You are the one you've been waiting for. Too many people are waiting for permission, waiting for someone to save them, waiting for a mentor, a partner, a lucky break. But let me tell you something that might shake you. No one is coming. No one is going to hand you your dream. No one is going to drag you to the finish line. And the truth is, you don't need them to. Because everything you need to become who you're meant to be is already inside you. You've got strength you haven't tapped into yet. You've got creativity, fire, grit, and intelligence buried under fear and self-doubt. And the moment you stop waiting for someone else to unlock it, and you decide to step into it yourself, that's when everything shifts. You don't need to be discovered. You need to discover yourself. Stop looking outward. Start looking inward. You're the hero. You're the author. You're the builder of your own future. And you don't need a fairy tale to make it real. You just need to believe that you are the one. When you understand that no one is coming to save you, you stop waiting and you start building. And that's when you become dangerous, because a person who doesn't wait is a person who creates. And creators, leaders, doers, they change the world. Principle 9. The process is more important than the outcome. Let's talk about results. Yes, they matter. Yes, we want them. The money, the body, the recognition, the payoff. But let me tell you something most people miss. If you focus only on the outcome, you'll always feel behind. You'll never feel good enough, because no matter how much you achieve, the goalposts keep moving. But when you fall in love with the process, with the grind, the learning, the improvement, that's when you win every day. The outcome is the fruit, but the process, that's the root. And if the root isn't strong, the fruit won't last. So stop obsessing over the result. Start respecting the journey, because that's where your power grows. That's where you learn who you are. That's where you earn the confidence to keep going. Every champion you admire didn't just win once. They showed up every day, even when they didn't feel like it. They practiced, failed, adjusted, repeated. And that's what made them great. Not just the trophy, but the habits that built the trophy. So yes, set goals. Dream big. But focus more on the system than the outcome. Master the day, master the routine, and the results, they'll take care of themselves. Principle 10. Elevate your circle. Let me tell you something you may already feel deep down. Not everyone around you wants to see you win. Some people are rooting for your failure, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your growth threatens their comfort. You becoming better makes them face their own excuses. So instead of clapping for you, they criticize. Instead of lifting you up, they pull you down. And you have to recognize that, not with hate, but with awareness. The people you surround yourself with matter more than you think. If your circle is full of gossip, laziness, fear, and mediocrity, that energy will poison your vision. But if your circle is full of winners, people who inspire you, challenge you, push you, correct you, then your growth becomes inevitable. You rise to the level of your circle every time. So take inventory. Who are you spending time with? Are they feeding your fire or putting it out? Are they reminding you of your potential or keeping you small? Sometimes elevation requires separation. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love yourself enough to protect your future. So build a circle that's real. A circle that talks about ideas, not just people. A circle that claps when you win and calls you out when you slack. That's how you grow. That's how you win. That's how you build something that lasts. Principle 11. Your words shape your world. Words are not just sound. They are power. The way you speak, especially to yourself, becomes the lens through which you experience life. If you keep saying, "I'm not good enough," "I can't do this," or "this always happens to me," you're not just expressing feelings. You're programming your mind. You're wiring your brain for failure. And the worst part? You don't even realize it. But here's the flip side. When you begin to speak differently, everything begins to change. When you say, "I can handle this," even when you're scared, your brain starts looking for solutions. When you say, "I'm not there yet, but I'm getting better," you create momentum. And when you say, "I deserve a better life," your actions start aligning with that truth. This isn't magic, it's neuroscience. Your words shape your focus shapes your behavior shapes your life. So from this moment forward, be intentional. Speak life into your future. Speak confidence into your challenges. Speak victory into your struggles. And most importantly, speak love into yourself. Because if your inner voice is toxic, no amount of external success will ever be enough. Guard your language like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Principle 12. Legacy over likes. We live in a world obsessed with attention. Social media has created a culture where people measure their worth by numbers, likes, followers, views. But here's a hard truth. None of that matters when you're gone. You can't take followers with you. You can't cash in likes for legacy. So the real question is, what are you building that will outlast you? Are you living for approval or for impact? Because chasing likes is empty. One moment they love you, the next they forget you. But impact? Impact ripples. It touches people. It inspires generations. It creates real change. Don't live your life trying to impress people who don't even know you. Live in a way that your story becomes someone else's survival guide. Live in a way that your children, your family, your community are elevated because of your decisions. That's legacy. And legacy doesn't require applause. It requires authenticity. You don't need to be famous to leave a legacy. You just need to be intentional with your time, your energy, your gifts, the way you treat people, the way you show up when no one's watching. So forget the clout. Forget the trends. Build something real. Build something that matters. Because when you're gone, the only thing that stays is what you gave. Principle 13. It's supposed to be hard. There's a myth out there that if you're on the right path, it'll be easy. That the universe will open every door and the road will be smooth. But let's get something straight. Just because something is hard doesn't mean it's wrong. In fact, the harder it is, the more it matters. The truth is, anything worth having will demand everything from you. Your time, your energy, your focus, your patience, your grit. The road to greatness isn't paved with comfort. It's forged through resistance. You're going to hit walls. You're going to question everything. There will be moments where quitting seems like the most reasonable option. That's normal. But that doesn't mean you stop. It means you keep going, because growth isn't supposed to be easy. Dreams aren't supposed to come cheap. The struggle is part of the story. It's what makes the success meaningful. It's what builds the character required to sustain it. So the next time you feel like it's too hard, remind yourself, it's supposed to be. That difficulty you're facing, that's the exact resistance you need to become the person who's ready for the life you're building. Don't resent the struggle. Rise through it. Principle 14. Small steps, big impact. Too many people never start because they think they need to make a massive leap. They want the transformation overnight, the results by the weekend. But real change doesn't come in explosions. It comes in quiet, consistent effort. One step, then another, then another. Small, simple, boring steps, repeated over and over again. That's where the magic happens. A single push-up doesn't change your body. A single dollar saved doesn't build wealth. A single kind word doesn't heal your relationships. But when you repeat those things, daily, faithfully, they compound. One day, you wake up and everything is different. Not because of one big move, but because of thousands of small ones you didn't quit on. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop searching for the massive breakthrough. Focus on the next right step. That's it. Master the next step, then the next. Progress is built through patience. Consistency beats intensity when intensity fades. You don't need a miracle. You need a system. You need a rhythm. You need to show up today, even if it's not glamorous, especially when it's not glamorous, because that's when real change is born. Principle 15. Stop arguing for your limitations. We all do it, without even realizing it. We say things like, "I've always been like this," or "That's just who I am," or "I could never do that." But all you're doing is arguing for your limitations. You're reinforcing a false story, a narrative that keeps you small. And the more you repeat it, the more it becomes your truth. Not because it's real, but because you've chosen to believe it. But let me ask you, what if you stopped? What if you stopped defending your weakness and started owning your power? What if you stopped explaining why you can't and started finding ways that you can? Because here's the truth. You were not born limited. You were conditioned to believe you are. And just like you learned those limits, you can unlearn them. Every time you choose to challenge the story, you give yourself a new future. Every time you try, even when you're scared, you rewrite the narrative. So start speaking life over your potential. Start acting like someone who is capable of more, because you are. And the moment you stop arguing for your limits is the moment your life begins to expand. Principle 16. Your environment shapes your execution. You can have all the goals, all the plans, all the vision, but if your environment is toxic, your execution will suffer. Period. You can't expect to stay focused if you're surrounded by chaos. You can't expect to grow if your space is full of distractions. You can't expect peace when everything around you breeds anxiety. Your environment matters more than you think. It's not just about people. It's about everything. Your digital space, your physical space, your habits, your routines, the things you tolerate, the things you consume. Every single part of your environment is either lifting you or limiting you. So take control. Clean up your space. Curate your feed. Protect your energy. Eliminate what drains you. Multiply what inspires you. Discipline gets easier when your environment supports it. Creativity flows when you're not overwhelmed by noise. Confidence grows when your surroundings reflect your goals. So audit your environment like your future depends on it, because it does. If you want to operate at a higher level, you have to set the stage for it. Build an environment that makes success the natural result. Principle 17. The world doesn't owe you anything. Let's get real. No one owes you success. Not your parents, not your boss, not your followers, not the universe. The world doesn't owe you a thing. And that's not a reason to feel bitter. It's a reason to feel free. Because when you stop expecting the world to hand you something, you take full ownership of your life. You stop waiting. You stop blaming. You start building. Entitlement is the enemy of growth. It makes you passive. It makes you bitter. It keeps you stuck. But ownership sets you free. It says, if I want it, I'll work for it. If I fail, I'll learn. If it's hard, I'll get stronger. That mindset, that hunger, is what separates those who achieve from those who dream. So drop the entitlement. Replace it with responsibility. Replace it with hustle. Replace it with humility. You're not owed success, but you are capable of earning it. And when you finally do, it'll be so much sweeter knowing you didn't wait for it. You went out and took it. Principle 18. Identity first, then action. Most people try to change their life by changing their actions, but they miss the foundation. If you want lasting transformation, you have to start with identity. Who do you believe you are? What kind of person are you trying to become? Because your actions will always follow your identity. You can try to act like a disciplined person, but if you still see yourself as lazy, you'll eventually self-sabotage. You can try to eat healthy, but if you still believe you're someone who always fails diets, you won't last. So shift the focus. Don't just say, I'm going to go to the gym. Say, I'm the kind of person who doesn't miss workouts. Don't just say, I'm going to read more. Say, I'm a lifelong learner. Build identity-based habits. Start seeing yourself as the person you want to become. Now, every time you follow through, you reinforce that identity. Every choice becomes a vote for that new version of you. Identity isn't fixed. It's built. It's fluid. And it's yours to shape. When you lead with identity, the actions become natural. They're not forced. They're aligned. So ask yourself, who are you becoming? And what would that version of you do today? Principle 19. Silence the noise, amplify your voice. There's too much noise out there, too many opinions, too many people telling you what success should look like, what you should want, how you should live. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life chasing someone else's version of happiness. That's a trap. You'll burn out trying to meet expectations that don't even belong to you. The truth? You already have the answers. Deep down, you already know what lights you up, what drains you, what you value, what you dream of. But you have to create space to hear it. You have to turn down the noise long enough to hear your own voice. That means disconnecting sometimes. That means setting boundaries. That means trusting yourself, even when others don't understand. The more you align with your authentic voice, the more fulfilled you'll become. Not because life gets easier, but because it finally becomes yours. So stop chasing validation. Start chasing alignment. Your voice matters. Your vision matters. Don't let the volume of the world drown it out. Principle 20. Don't die with your gift still inside you. You were born with something unique. A perspective, a skill, a message, a mission, and the world needs it. But here's the tragedy. Most people never release it. They hold it in. They sit on their dreams. They silence their ideas. Out of fear, out of doubt, out of the lie that they're not good enough. And then life passes, and that gift dies with them. Don't let that be your story. You are not here to merely exist. You are here to contribute, to express, to create, to lead. And no, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need 1 million followers. You don't need everyone's approval. You just need to start. Start speaking. Start building. Start sharing, even if it's messy, even if it's small. Because your gift wasn't given to you to be buried. It was given to you to be shared. You don't get another shot at this life. This is it. And if you wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of you, you'll miss it. So stop waiting. Start living. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs your realness. It needs your courage. It needs your voice. It needs your gift. This is your call, your turning point, your fire lit. You don't need permission. You don't need certainty. You just need a decision. A decision to stop surviving and start rising. To stop settling and start stretching. To stop waiting and start becoming. This is your life, right now. Not someday, not later. Now. And you've got what it takes. Everything you need is already inside you. It's time to wake it up. The world doesn't change because of passive people. It changes because someone decides enough is enough. Someone steps forward. Someone believes, pushes, grows, and refuses to shrink. Be that someone. You were not born to be average. You were born to rise, again and again. No matter what comes, no matter what breaks, no matter how many times you fall, get up. You're not done. You're just getting started.